I'm LAJarski, multiple string instrumentalist, composer, and owner of Brought Music. You may recognize me as a cellist in the NWMF Orchestra. In today's virtual Women Composers Recital, I am offering some of my recent composition performances. The feature composition, 9 Trees of KL Avenue Sent Underground, was completed as recent as May 9th as a part of the Kalamazoo Residents project called Music in Place, which will be presented at the end of this program. I will share more about this piece later. Reflections for Cello and Guitar is the first offering on today's program. Before becoming a cellist, I was primarily a singer-songwriter guitarist. In 2005, we had a wonderful guitarist composer on our teaching staff for a short while. We entered into a friendly challenge to each compose a cello guitar piece to be composed and performed in a week's time. Here's the piece I came up with for that challenge. The next 2 pieces were part of the Kalamazoo's first residence project in partnership with the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts called Unveiling American Genius Exhibit. This project was created in response to the lack of performance opportunities due to the COVID pandemic last year. A collective of 8 composers were selected to compose 2 2-minute works in response to art pieces created by ethnic artists from the United States in the KIA's permanent collection. For the first piece, I wrote a musical response to a piece titled The Egyptian Blue Jazz Bowl, created by Victor Schreckengost. In part, I chose the bowl for the intimate connection I felt, as if experiencing the vibe of the 1920s New York jazz scene in the now. I almost felt that I could get inside the bowl and hear the music as if putting my ear to a conch shell and the music would be there. I also chose the Blue Jazz Bowl because I had not yet composed jazz music and had been thinking about writing in that genre for a while. For the second piece of this project, I decided to select an abstract work called Untitled. Since the first piece selected had the jazz vibe at its core, it was beautifully coincidental that I choose a work created by this Puerto Rican abstract expressionist artist, Olga Abitsu, who also had strong connections to jazz. Since the first piece was a solo guitar jazz piece, I wanted the second piece to continue in the jazz vein, but within an ensemble framework. We had a 2-week time frame to compose both of these works, so needless to say, they were not written down. After creating the cello groove for the framework, all of the other parts were improvised, recorded into the piece. Only recently did I decipher what I had created in the recording to revisit it and record it into video format. It was a great way to introduce the newest instrument in my collection, the Minstrel Banjo. I nickname it the cello banjo for its low tuning, though naming it the viola banjo would have been more accurate. This piece is also named Untitled with Brazilian Mirage for its subtitle. Like the abstract, the Brazilian bossa nova entrance is very much welcomed, but fleeting. Okay, it is now time to even up the score a bit by sharing more cello with you on this program. Rhythm Cordia for solo cello, next up, was premiered April of 2018 in Kalamazoo. A few of us decided to each present a solo set on a shared recital event. At that time, I knew I needed one more piece on my program. I discovered that I was enjoying improvisational breaks from practicing Bach's Third Cello Suite. So I further developed the best of those improv episodes into the piece. My long-standing roots in folk music, guitar playing techniques, and a love for percussive elements continued to find its way into my cello compositions, including this one. Enjoy. I do want to assure all watching that the cello was not harmed in that previous performance. Before sharing the final piece on this program, I'm excited to share more about how the minstrel and banjo in general found its way into my heart. I was fortunate to explore many different string instruments thanks to my Uncle Tom owning a music store while I was in high school. I would spend pockets of time exploring the dulcimer, mandolin, and the banjo, which later led to many musical pit playing opportunities. I had barely begun playing the cello at that point. I was a finger stylist on the guitar, and I couldn't wrap my head around terms like forward, backward, or mixed rolls. What's the difference between that and fingerpicking? I recently joked that when I spent a certain amount of time with the banjo when I was in high school, that I was trying to figure out why people played it. A lot of times when I heard banjo, I was annoyed. But there are so many great things being done on the banjo these days. Maybe you've heard of Rhianna Giddens or Abigail Washburn in their performances in the clawhammer style. However, it was a lesser known artist, Karen Dalton, and her banjo playing on the song Katie Cruel, which sealed my affection for the banjo. It also turns out that one of my favorite pieces to play in high school was actually a banjo tune. Go figure. A LAJarski variation of that tune, Pigeon River Breakdown, is presented on the second half of this next piece. It's a mashup called The Swamp Over 8th Street. As I mentioned earlier, the banjo in this piece is the Minstrel banjo, which I had built after hearing Rhiannon Giddens perform Julie on it. I love the earthy, percussive gut string sound and the fretless opportunity to explore more notes between the notes in my music writing and playing. I ordered this banjo in the fall before COVID and received it in May of 2020. We frequently took our walks to that bridge down 8th Street. It was overrun by swamp water for over 2 years. We loved that stretch. Within the week after posting the video for this song, they commenced repair of that bridge. I'm now excited to share with you the final piece on this program, 9 Trees of KL Avenue Sent Underground. I had been thinking about how I was going to write a piece to adequately express the grief I felt upon returning home from a week-long trip to Mississippi for a music seminar in 2017, only to discover that the 900 to 200-year-old majestic oaks that had provided a beautiful canopy over our road were reduced to stumps, which resulted in a blinding glare in their absence. In 2017, our road was amidst a sewer expansion project. Unrevealed circumstances led to the removal. I can tell you that a storage business west of us was the location where these trees resided. When Connecting Chords Music Festival devised the Music in Place Commission project, that was the nudge needed to bring this piece into reality. Luckily, I took video footage of the tree stumps back then. All along, I visualized the banjo representing the trees. I didn't know it would involve 2 banjos. I found some solace recently when a student of mine brought to my attention that the root systems underground are just as formidable and are still alive. Thank you for listening today, and now for the conclusion of this program, 9 Trees of KL Avenue Sent Underground.